Our class today, we're going to go back and revisit complete square. We're going to use it to find the roots or solutions to quadratic equations. And let's go back and recap a little bit. And so far, we've learned several different ways to factor and solve quadratic equations. If we go back and you remember when we start off, right, when we have a factor such as x squared plus 4x plus 4. You know, we solve that. We found the factors. We found the factors of 4, and write the factors to the equal to 0 and solve for x. That was one way we did it. Or if there was a 3 here, we did a slide and divide method. So it was one way of solving it. They'll also look at binomials. For instance, if we have a binomial that's x squared, let's say x squared minus 16, we recognize that this is a difference of squares. And so we took the square root of both terms, and we got x and 4. We wrote the factors, x, positive 4, x minus 4, and solve for x. And also we also had binomials where there were not difference of squares. So for instance, we have, say, 2x squared minus, let's say, 24x. In this case, we find the GCF, which is 2x here, divide by 2x, divide by 2x, get the factors and solve for x again. Well, now we're going to use a different way. We're going to use complete square to help us find the solutions or the roots of quadratic equations, all right? So before we jump into that, let's go back and revisit how we can find the C value to make this a perfect square trinomial. So you remember to find C value here, we would take the B value, which is 10, divide by 2 and square it, all right? And that would give us 25. That would give us 25, and so my C value is 25. And then to write this as a factor, we'll put x plus 5 squared. And number 2, I would divide 8 by 2, and square it. That would give me 16, and so I'll put 16 there, and so as a factor squared now, this will be x minus 4 squared. And for the last one, 4 divided by 2 squared, which is just 4, this will be 4, and as a factor squared, it will be x plus 2 squared. All right, and so a quick review on that. So let's look at now. We're going to look at complete square, but we're going to try and write this as a vertex form. And to do that, we're going to go back to the steps again. First, this is our C value. Right? It is. If I divide 8 by 2, if I divide 8 by 2 and square it, it does not equal to 4. Right, so that's not a perfect square trinomial. So the 4 is the issue, so I'm going to cancel 4, I'm moving to the right. So step number 1 is to move the C value, which is 4 right now, move the C value to the right. To the right. And then step number 2 is I'm going to have a blank space now, so I'm going to put a plus blank space on both sides. I'll put a plus blank space on both sides. So it's going to look like this now. So I cancel a 4, so now I'm going to have x squared plus 8x plus that blank space, right, equals to a blank space. I think I wrote my number 2 over here. It's literally nothing. All right, so let's do that now. So here, so when I cancel the 4, it should be a negative 4. Sorry about that. And then the blank space. Oops. All right. So here I'm going to find my C value. I'm sure you remember us doing this. And so my C value now, my C value is going to be 8 divided by 2, and then I square it gives me 16. So my new C value is going to be 16. So I'm going to write this as x squared plus 8x plus 16 is equal to negative 4 plus 16. All right? So step number 3 now is find C value. Find C, which is equal to b divided by 2 squared. And then step number 4, we add the C value to both sides. So we add b divided by 2 squared to both sides. And step number 5, now we're going to simplify. Simplify means that all I'm going to do now is I'm going to write the left side as a factor square. So the left side now, I can write this as x. When I divide 8 by 2, I got a positive 4. So plus 4 squared is equal to, on the right, negative 4. Negative 4 plus 16 is going to give me a positive 12. Okay? Now, if you recognize this now, if you recognize this, all I'm going to do now is to cancel the 12 and move to the left side. So step number 5 is simplify, right? And all we did was just write it as a factor form and simplify the right side. And step number 6 is move the number back to, move them on the right side. On the right side, okay, back to the left. And I should end up with x minus h squared plus k equals 0 in that format. So when I do that now, minus 12 here, minus 12 there, that's going to give me x plus 4 squared minus 12 equals 0. And that is completing the square right there. So a little review on that. Now let's see now how, let's do one more example of this. So again here, when I divide negative 4 by 2 and square it, it does not equal to 5. So 5 is the issue, so I'm going to cancel 5. And when I do that, I'm going to get x squared minus 4x plus, I cancel 5, right? I'm going to go blank space there now. I'm going to go minus 5 here plus a blank space. Okay. So when I cancel 5, all I did was minus 5 on both sides. Okay. Good. And so here I'm going to find my C value now. My C value is going to equal to, divide the B value, just 4, negative 4. Negative 4 squared divided by 2 squared is equal to a positive 4. So my C value now is going to be x, I'm going to write x squared minus 4x, replace the C with positive 4 equals to, plus 4 is equal to negative 5 plus 4. Now on the left side, I can write it as a factor. Here, when I divide negative 4 by 2, I got negative 2. So I can write this now as x minus 2 squared is equal to negative 4 plus 1. I'm sorry, negative 4 plus 5. Negative 5 plus 4 is negative 1. And then I'm going to cancel negative 1 by adding 1 to both sides. Plus 1, and then that just gives me x minus 2 squared plus 1 equals 0. So that was a quick review. Now we're going to use complete square to find the solution of the quadratic equation. So once we get here now, once we get here, we're gonna find the x value, right? So that's the next step. So here we go now. I'm going to use complete square, right, this time to find the roots, to find the values of x. And so, okay, let's go with complete square. Then, the steps are very similar. We're going to move, right, we're going to cancel the 8 because when I divide 6 by 2 and square it does not equal to 9. So I'm going to cancel C and move the C value, move the C value, right, to the right. And so when I do that now, minus 8 on both sides is going to create a space. So I'm going to write this as x squared plus 6x plus a blank space is equal to negative 8 plus a blank space. And then step number 2 now is I'm going to find, step number 2 now is I'm going to find, step number 2 was draw the blank space. I did that. So draw or write the plus blank space on both sides. Okay. Step number 3 now, I'm going to find my new C value. And so find C, which is going to equal to B divided by 2 squared. Right. And so my C value now is going to be, C is going to equal to 6 divided by 2, which is 3, and squared is equal to 9. So now I'm going to write this as x squared plus 6x plus 9 is equal to negative 8 plus 9. All right. Step number 4, which I just did, I'm going to add the b over 2 squared to both sides. I just did that a while ago to both sides. And then we're going to simplify now. I'm going to write the left side as a factor square, and on the right side, simplify that. So 5 simplify. So this is going to give me on the left side now, it's going to be, when I divide 6 by 2, I got 3, so x plus 3 squared. And on the right side, I have a positive 1. Okay, now this is where previously my next step, right, would be minus 1 to get vertex form, but I'm not going to vertex form. This time I'm going to solve for x. I want to find the roots. And here, in this format now, you've seen this before. You've seen this before last week, right? And to solve for x now, I'm just going to use the square root method. I'm just going to take the square root of, let me try to write this neatly. I'm going to take the square root of both sides. When I do that now, okay, the radical cancels the power of 2, and now I'm just left with x plus 3 on the left side. Now the square root of 1 is plus and minus 1. So now I'm going to have 2 equations. I'm going to have x plus 3 is equal to positive 1, and the other one, x plus 3 is equal to negative 1. And this is a quick one-step equation. So to solve for x. Minus 3 on both sides, that gives me x equal to negative 2. Minus 3 on both sides, x equal to negative 4. All right. Let's try another h. All right. Let's see. Here, 33 is not perfect square, and when I divide negative 6 by 2, it does not equal to 9. So again, the goal is to factor this, solve for x. And why perfect square, why complete square works is because 6, when I divide 6 by 2, I get an even, not an even number, I get an integer. So yeah, I mean, it works well here. So the question you may ask is, when do I use perfect square if I want to solve for x? When b is an even number, it works best. So if this was a 7, then 7 divided by 2 is a, I mean, you can still use it, but it just makes things a little bit more difficult, all right? So divide, so I'm going to cancel the 3, and so I'm going to have x squared minus 6x plus the blank space equals negative 3 plus the blank space. All right, so my C value now, my new C value is going to equal to, C is going to equal to negative 6 divided by 2, which is 3, negative 3 squared is equal to 9. So here I'm going to have x squared minus 6x plus 9 is equal to negative 3 plus 9. So on the left side now, I can write this as a factor square. That's going to be x. When I divide negative 6 by 2, that is negative 3 minus 3 squared is equal to, and on the right side, I'm going to have, and this is 33. 33 plus 9. And so that's going to give me a negative 25. I'm sorry, negative 24. Yes, negative 24. That gives me a negative 24. So now, this is perfect for the square root method. Take the square root of both sides. That goes away, and now I'm left with x minus 3 is equal to, now you recognize I'm taking the square root of a negative number. So you know I'm going to get an I in my actual imaginary number. So this one gives me I square root of 24. And square root of 24 now, I can write this as a factor of 2 numbers. One is a perfect square. I can write this as I square root of 4 times square root of 6. Square root of 4 is 2, plus and minus 2. So now I'm going to have plus and minus 2I square root of 6. And that is x minus 3. So here, I'm going to write my 2 equations to solve for x. One is going to be x minus 3 is equal to the positive 2I radical 6. The other one is going to be x minus 3 is equal to negative 2I radical 6. And here, I'm just going to add 3 to both sides, plus 3 on both sides. And so when I do that, I get x is equal to 3 plus 2I radical 6. And this one's going to be, add 3 to both sides, it's equal to 3 minus 2I radical 6. And those are your solutions. Okay, now on this page, these are, I'm not going to do the video on these. I will post the key so you can go back and you can solve it on your own and then check your answers. All right? So hopefully this will help.